time being here, hanging out with you guys. Okay, so this is what we have so far. What I'd like to do is I'm trying to decide what do I want the user. There's a couple things here. It's not just about, thank you, Tani, I appreciate that. This project is not just about making the most user-friendly project. This project is about user-friendly program at the end of the day. This project is about teaching someone else how to use these tools, how to use Godot. So at the end of the day, we're not actually creating a full game. And so we might say, oh, well, wouldn't it be cool if, yeah, exactly, John, exactly. It's not saying, oh, wouldn't it be nice if we could click over here and it'd pull this thing up? Kind of feel like that would be nice. But I'm thinking one thing that might be nice to add in here would be make it, here's a GitHub repo, wants fork or take a look at the existing code. Thanks for the link, Raf. Thank you there. Yeah, I appreciate that. How to teach other depends your own knowledge. Absolutely, absolutely. Just getting ready to show you all you the Discord, my first showcase of the game at the end of this month. Let's go. The next showcase, August 20th. That's going to be a Saturday. Mark your calendars. We'll be doing another community showcase. There's a handful of people who have dibs on that showcase for starting out, so I want to make sure I get them in first, but I'll be posting that on the Discord as well. Gotcha, Hunted. Okay. I want to add in a color picker. I would like to add in a color, but wouldn't it be cool if you could take our monster into a VR MMORPG sports hybrid with roguelike progression and Hades dialogue? That's what some of my students are going to want to do. Enjoy your lurk, Tani. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. We know there are many places to lurk, and we appreciate you choosing to lurk here. Okay, what do I want to do? We're going to add in some sliders here. On our arms, what game do you recommend someone making who is new to game dev and Godot? Luch, that's a great question. In fact, we just did a Learn You a Game Jam, and we have a bunch of resources available from people over here. If you're just starting out with Learn You a Game Jam, Godot first platformer, I would honestly recommend, is this for Godot? Yeah. I would honestly recommend going through this. This is a fantastic starting point. This is a fantastic starting point right here to get going in Godot. So this is one of the, if you're looking to get going in Godot and you have no experience, you've never done anything else previously, go through this tutorial, then try and just extend it, expand it, make something new, add to it. Pong, Asteroids, all of those are great options. One of my favorites is making a Asteroids type game. So that's top-down space shooter is one of my favorite ones to start out with. Yeah. Suggested this to someone today. Awesome. I want to add in a color picker. I tried Pong, but all my scenes became messy after a while and I have the wrong nodes. That's okay. That's it. When you're starting out doing game dev, when you're starting out learning something, a lot of your projects are going to be that way. You start out, you do a little bit of something, and be like, I'm going to move on to something else. It turns out not getting too attached to a single project is a great way to learn a bunch of different things, to expand your knowledge in a bunch of different places. Okay. There are software keeping simple as grow your project. Yeah. So learning how to manage that complexity comes second. Start with small, little mechanical to learn basics, and then you're going to start experimenting with how to combine those things together. Okay. We have our maker here. I want to make a color picker. So for now, this should have this box in it. For now, I'm actually going to turn off this tab container, and I want to add a color picker into this. Add a child color picker. I've never used the color picker, so I'm kind of curious how it will. Ooh, should I put it there? Maybe I should put it out here. Has anyone used the color picker before? Let's run this. What does the color picker do? I'm not sure how to use the color picker. Add multi. Oh, sorry, hang on. Color picker button is great. All right, so apparently I got to look at how to use the color picker. Godot color picker. I've never used it before, so we're gonna learn together. A widget that provides an interface for selecting or modifying a color. It's just in, you have a margin in front of it? This is empty, there's nothing in this. It might just be upset that it's not a size, like it's not taking up space. So keep in mind, I'm still kind of new to these things. All right, so I'm gonna go read real quick about the color picker and understand. So as a color picker widget itself, you can use a color picker button instead if you need a button that brings up a color picker. Okay. Color picker, I think I chose a color picker button. Can always right click to get directly to the documentation of that node instead of needing to search for it. I like the way it looks, and for what it's worth, I like the way it looks and feels in the browser a little bit better. You are correct though. Tuber, let's get a hat on this deck. Tuber, I don't think you were here, but Fiorini won one of the raffles. Also was an honorable mention as the judges pick for the funniest game. Incredible with another hat. Let's get another hat. Yeah. So we're gonna have to go contact him, make sure he knows. Thank you for the hat, Incredible. Let's get another hat on this head here. Perfect. Give me just a second. Don't go anywhere. I'll be right back. Sorry about that. We're back. I'm not an affiliate, so there are no channel points here, but you got your Captain Coder points. If you do exclamation points, you can find them. Yeah, so I'm not an affiliate. A color picker widget. Is this a jab at how in startup game dev companies people keep wearing many hats? That's not what it's for. It's because I happen to have a lot of hats. That's really what it is. All right, so I think what I actually want is a color picker button. I think I do actually want a color picker button. Color picker button, I'm curious. It's so small. All right, but then we'll be able to pick our color here. Okay, thank you for the hats. We got one hat. I think we got two hats, a coax with the hat, then with a bonus, let's get one hat. Here, let's get two hats. You just need a color picker button. Yeah, inside of your scene after you can stretch it to anchors that you like control. There we go, two hats. Let's get a third hat, three hats. Perfect. Thank you guys so much for the hats. I think we're 6 hats in right now. 6 hats in. All right, so we got our color picker button. Should try a Christmas jam. So I was thinking of doing Lance. I had an idea for a Secret Santa game jam. A Secret Santa game jam where everyone gets assigned someone different. So you sign up for the game jam. So the reason I don't want to, this feels hard to do is because I think a lot of people would drop out. But an idea for a Secret Santa game jam where the person, everyone gets someone else. Everyone gets someone random. And when you sign up for the game jam, you actually put down the types of games you like or themes. So each individual person has a different theme. Each different person has a different theme that they're going to suggest. And then the person who picks you randomly get assigned someone. And then everyone has a different theme based on the person who they got assigned to. There's a lot of people that end up dropping out of Secret Santa, out of game jam. So I'm a little bit nervous about doing it, but I think we might do that in December. I think that could be super fun to have a Secret Santa game jam. I need to figure out all the details first, but I think a Secret Santa, and then you make a personal game by the wishes. Exactly, Z-Man. So there's here's the types of games I like. Here's the mechanics I like. And then here's the themes. So I think that would be really cool. Hunted Storm, I think it'd be really cool. I feel like that helped me actually get done knowing that so there's a single person, and the idea would be it would be a whole month. It'd be a whole month, so it'd be all of December. It wouldn't just be 1 month. That'd be so much fun. I mean, people might drop out, so we need to find a way to keep track of who is participating if you drop out, so we can rearrange a little bit different people. I think it could be super cool though to have a personalized game made just for you. So we'll look into it. Okay, so we have this color picker button. And I want to know, how'd you handle non-presenters? I mean, it'd suck if you didn't. Yeah, so Z-Man, we would have to do something to where when someone, that's exactly why I don't know how to handle that. We need to do something to where if someone drops out, you need to get reassigned to someone else. Yeah, so it's a little bit interesting. Z-Man, that's why I'm saying a lot of people drop out. So we had only a 30% of people finish the game jam. Yeah, so you'd have to say, be honest, tell me if you're gonna drop out. Gemmin, welcome back. Roger Dev, great to see you. Tuber Tugger, Coax, Redston, you guys are all incredible. Thank you guys so much for being here. So the idea, Hunted Storm, is that the person who you're making a game for, there's a person specifically you're making a game for, and they give you a list of things that they like in games. Oh, I was just saying, Redston, welcome back. I don't know if I said hello. I know I acknowledged you before, but I just saw that. I have a little... Redston, here's what happened. I have this little checklist over here that tells me when people show up, and I was just saying hello to you. That's all I was doing. Something like that says I'm still in to keep you on track. So in our last game jam, we had 30% people stick around. So I think it would be a really fun thing to do. I have a bunch of ideas for... Maybe I shouldn't say this out loud. I've been doing the Advent of Code in December the last 2 years. I have an idea for something I'm kind of calling the Advent of Game Dev. The Advent of Game Dev. And I think that could be really fun. I'm talking with some people. So I have a bunch of ideas of things in Advent of Code. So I have this idea... I think I'm still in every day would be good. Yeah. So Advent of Game Dev. This one's a little bit more challenging to get right and to do well. But the idea with Advent of Game Dev is to encourage people to step out of their comfort zone and use different game engines. So every day in the Advent of Game Dev, there's actually a different base project that you're encouraged to go fix or clean up or do something with. And we'd use a bunch of different engines. We'd have Godot, we'd have Unity, we'd have Unreal, we'd have Game Maker. So you don't necessarily have to do all of them. You see the ones on each day. It's not a game. It's about learning different tools, learning different things, learning how things are done in different tooling like that. So you would actually get a base project in these different tools and then be required to try and implement something from that. The Advent of Hats. We need Advent of Hats. That's right. Maybe don't do the draw of names for the first week. Create a theme and do the first week with everyone on a shared theme. Then only that have completed the first week enter the draw for the last week. That's an interesting idea. Basically guaranteed something like that. So there's a bunch of tricky things. I have a bunch of things that I want to do for the community, to get the community involved doing interesting things. That is one of them. How would they develop on the recipient? Yeah, so that's a trick, right? So there's the trick. This is why the Captain Cooter's got all the solutions under those hats. No, I need more hats. We don't have enough hats to come up with all the solutions here. I've got a lot of ideas, but the implementation details become difficult. Okay, so something that I think we could do, the solution is to add more hats. Can I, let's go turn this on. Can I it'd be cool to put this button here somehow that you could click it. Let's put it in the grid. Can I make it I'm curious here. And then we could set just the body color. I like this idea. Crazy thing, guys, Cap's big brain power comes from his hats. You're only feeding him. Feed me, I need more. Fuel the madness, fuel the chaos. Yeah, AJ Reg. I think basically the idea might be that you don't necessarily get people going into the game jam should know that they're making something for someone else, not necessarily that they're going to get something from someone else. So if you go in knowing that you're gonna make something for someone else and you might receive something from someone else, I think that helps. How do I know how many points? Exclamation points. Exclamation points. You'll see your points down there, AJ. Yeah, I'm not an affiliate, so there's no points tracked in the website. Do exclamation points, you'll see them like that. But yeah, I'm not an affiliate, so if you want to see the commands and stuff, you can find them down below. I think I need to add in a parent. And I want to make this a container. How do I set this, like, so container? I think I can do it with just container here. Or a box container. Let's go with box container. And I think that I can set 50-50. So I can force this to be a specific size. And then I can make this stretch out. Ooh, maybe I can't do that. I want to make this button take up the whole size here. Thank you so much for the hat. Let's get a hat added to the stack. Thank you so much for the hat. Here we go. I mean, I have one hat. It's awesome. Thank you so much for the hat, Dev Mashup. It has a lip, and it is decorated with a feather. Looks awesome. I do have caps and beanies too, but that's my only hat. I use it on special occasions because it's special. It's okay to have a special hat. That's great. I'm glad you have a special hat. I want to make... It's so interesting. I want to make this button a specific size. I want to make this grid, each of the cells, a specific size. Does anyone know if I can reduce the size? Can I put some text on this? Color. This like doesn't look like a button. So we're gonna use this to pick a color. Okay. And we're gonna make it so when the color changes, it's gonna change the color of these. Okay. So let's make it so that way, color picker, we need to make it so that when this changes, thank you so much for the lurk, Dev Mashup. Enjoy your lurk. Hope you're having a lot of progress today. Been on for 4 months, almost 5 months. That's fantastic. Z-Man, it's been a pleasure having you. Shin Tai, welcome back. Congratulations on your number 18. Yeah, I assumed there'd be a signal on it. Let's go check out what the signal is. Color change, and we get the color. Awesome. So we can register here. Let's add a script here. This is going to be our color grid. Color grid. Wonder if I can just make this script actually. I'm going to do it on, I'm going to make a script down here. Color grid. Color grid picker. Like that. So this thing needs to have a reference to the body here like that. I have too many things selected. It's gonna be a reference to this. And then this is gonna have a signal that goes off that it uses. You're beating JD, let's go. JD, welcome into the stream. Congratulations on your number 19. JD's been here for 1 year and 2 months. Exciting stuff. Exciting stuff. Good morning, my friend. I hope you've been having a beautiful day. We just went through, we announced all the winners to Captain Coder's Learn You a Game Jam. So many incredible entries. It was a pleasure seeing all those wonderful people. We're gonna connect this signal. I don't even know if I need to do, we can do it this way. So on the color change, this body grid is a grid container like this. Body grid dot, the thing I want to change is modulate. So this is on the visibility, modulate equals color. Can I do this? Let's try it. Let's try it. It annoys my little brain that it's spelled color and not color. There we go. So we can have this little color picker that pops up like that. I really want to put this over to the side. And when we select these, it'll actually set the color on this thing as well. So this needs to, there's some extra little steps we got to take here. What's interesting is the color doesn't match because this thing's getting like a different modulate color. So I really want to find a way, hang on. We want to find a way to have these sort of be side by side. Let's go back into our editor here. This color picker is not in the quite right spot. I want these things, let's go with horizontal here. Let's do a add child. We're gonna go with an H box. I'm gonna put my body grid in there and then my color picker in there like that. So we have the box off to the side. It's a little bit better. And then my color picker here, I don't want it to take, I mean, this is not the worst. It's pretty bad, but it's not the worst. Our grid container is no longer there. We got to update this. Be here. We'll just update it. Body grid like that. So now we can change these, and now they'll match the color. The reason it wasn't matching is the modulate was affecting the inner one here as well. All right, when we start up, let's go with a func ready. And on our ready, I'm gonna actually change my own color. Can I change the color I have selected equal to, I'm gonna do body grid.modulate. Can we do that? Will this set it to be the color that's picked by default? We'll find out here in a second. There we go. So we know we can change the color here like this, okay? And we'll be able to select this. One thing that might, oh, this is so cool. It has the swatches, it has all this stuff built into it. That's fabulous. That's so fast. We got the funk. Gotta get that funk. We've got the funk. JD, you know it. Gotta get that funk. Beautiful stuff. Beautiful stuff. Wonder if I could just make this say, we'll leave it alone here for now. I want it to pop up. Can I change where this pops up? Why does it pop up right in the center? I want it to pop up to the right. I want it to be over here when I click it, so I don't want it to cover these things. How might I do that? Why the before function normally means private right in some languages at least, but these are all built-in functions. This means that this is a built-in function. That's what that means. So this is the underscore in this case denotes a magic function that I personally didn't write that is provided by the engine. So this, for example, ready is a magic Godot function, a GD script function. Yeah, you can think of it as a virtual function, but I like to call them magic functions because GD's, technically it's a virtual function. You are correct. It's a magic function. In some languages, you put an underscore at the beginning to denote that this is a member variable. Typically, it means magic function. In my mind, it means it was generated by the program. So, for example, this isn't a virtual function. This function is not a virtual function. Is the reason I want to say this ready happens to be a virtual function. I've never seen underscore meaning private variable. I've seen underscore in Java meaning that it is a member variable, so don't have to use this keyword. But often if you have a member variable, it is often private. I don't know that I've seen underscore denote private very frequently. I could be wrong. It depends on what tools, what your team is doing. But yeah, this one isn't a virtual function, so that's why I'm hesitant to call it. This ready happens to be, but that's not what the underscore denotes. The underscore denotes that this was a method, in my mind, that was generated by Godot. Gotcha. Does anyone know how to make this color picker button? Let's go read about color picker button. Color picker button Godot. I want the color picker button to show up in a specific spot. You know how to make it show up in a different spot? JD, tell me. Tell us. toggle mode. I already did that. No, I want, when I click this here, I want this to show up. Oh, sorry. No, I want, when I click it, for it to show up here rather than over, because I don't want it to block any of these things. I want it to show up to the right. So I'm gonna look in there. It is a private, meaning it shouldn't be called directly. AJ Rec of it just, okay, so it's telling us that this, you shouldn't call it directly. Camel stands for public variable. C# is interesting. C# has a very unique style guide in my opinion. Layout. Let's go look and see here. Position. Ooh, doesn't this have it? Encapsulate color picker, making it accessible by pressing a button. Pressing the button will toggle the color picker. Virtual functions given by the engine are the underscore because you shouldn't call them in the engine. That is, so this is why I say I call it. That's why I'm calling them magic functions. Same with this. You shouldn't call this method. This is a signal. You shouldn't call this function. It's going to be called on your behalf by someone else, by something else. Consistency across code bases, consistency across your team is what's important. Absolutely agree with that. All I said is Microsoft has an interesting style guide that they suggest. I'm surprised I don't see anything here about positioning. Picker created, emitted when the color picker script pop-up closed. We're doing Godot today, Mr. Joker. Welcome in. Yeah, we're doing Godot today. Do I have Godot listed in my, let me check my tags. Hit the wrong button. I have Unity listed, so we do Unity here sometimes too, but we are doing Godot today. I do have both because we do kind of Unity. We talk about Unity here a lot too. Consistency, right? So if you know what the standard is for a specific language, it's a little bit easier to transition between teams as well. It's one of the things Java tried to do. Tag bait. I do talk about Unity a lot. I'm a uniform. Look, we're unifying. That's right, JD. We're unifying. Redston, do you know how I can make it so when I click this that it will show up to the right? I want the color picker that shows up to show up to the right here. So right now when I click it, it's centered. It seems to be centered on the button. And in fact, I want it to show up to the right of the button. Do you know if there's an easy option to do that? I don't see something right away. Layout, transform, container sizing. Tooltip mouse. I honestly have no idea. I would personally just use a normal button and a color picker node. Yeah, so I would, that was like my thought, is we could do it that way as well. I could also see the purpose of this program isn't to make it the most beautiful program though. So we might just leave it. We might just leave it here. I do like that, but we can come in here and do this. I think when I change this as well, I think I want it to change the body color as we go as well. Fruit Superman, what a name. Fruit Superman has followed. Fruit Superman is here. Fruit Superman, thank you so much for the follow. What a fun name. Welcome into the stream. Great to have you here on this beautiful day. Yeah. Okay. There's one more thing I want to do. Is when we change this color, I want to change the color of our body over here. So we need to have this connected. One more thing, and we're gonna have this connected to our monster up here. Okay, and our monster, oh, that's interesting. Monster. There we go. We're gonna have it connected to our monster, and when the color changes, we actually need to change the color on the actual monster itself as well. And I don't have that yet. So in our monster script over here, let's close others. And then let's come back over here. I'm gonna open up, these are the two scripts I'm working on here, color picker. So I'm gonna come over to my monster. I wanna make it so we can change the color of the body. And we already have the body sprite. And so we have set body, func set. We almost don't even need this. This is what's interesting. We have this here. We could set it kind of directly. And I'm not sure if that's what I want to do, but we could do our, let's try it. Monster dot body. This would be a monster controller. Body dot body dot color dot texture. Hang on. Gotta go look at this in our monster here. Monster body. We need to say this is a texture 2D. We should have added all these types in. Fool! I was a fool. Hang on, is it not a texture 2D? Is it a sprite 2D? There we go. And it has a texture 2D on it. Okay, so we're gonna add these in like so. Is this a custom app that allows you to make those monsters? Yeah. So I'm a computer science teacher. I teach computer science and programming, and I'm teaching a class this fall on Godot. And in this class, students are this is gonna be one of the projects that the students make in this class. So it's gonna be a monster maker project here. So they'll be able to change, see how we swap out the shape like this? They'll swap out the shape, they'll change the colors. So this class project is sort of about how you might go about making a character creator, but in a fun way here. Body not self-modulate equals color. There we go. So now when we select our body here, we can actually change the color like so. And I should probably have it be, so we can actually come in and we can set the different colors here like this. And what's cool about this is it comes with our swatches we can set here. I need to make this window start out a little bit bigger apparently, or find a way to shrink it. It's funny that this wants to move. I hate that. Yeah, I need to figure out how to make this it wants to center on this button. I suppose, yeah, I gotta figure out how to do that. Notice that it goes all the way down to the bottom, but we can set these swatches. We get all this built-in stuff, which is really cool. So we're gonna add this into each one of the different ones. Yeah, it's monster, body, self-modulate. I just wasn't getting the tool tips on it. And so I wanted to make sure we got the tool tips. And so we can actually set the arms, we can set the legs, antenna, and then we're gonna have some bonus options as well. Whimsically made with a hat. Let's go. Let's get another hat today. Congratulations on your number 21 as well. Welcome back to the stream. It's great to have you here on this beautiful day. All right, so we have this going. We're gonna add this. So we're noticing, something I'm noticing is we're kind of getting this same thing multiple times. You just need Godot 4 from Steam or from Godot. Download it from GodotEngine.org. Yeah, I didn't realize you could get it on Steam. That's really interesting. What's interesting here, again, you're gonna notice this on color changed. We're modifying the body directly. I'm not quite ready to commit. I'm still working on this one feature, but yeah, I am gonna commit here in just a moment. We got this color picker, we're changing the body. In fact, let's go ahead and commit. I think you're right. Let's go ahead and commit. I was thinking about making some modifications here. Feet, add body, add color picker to body tab. Okay. It auto updates. Fascinating. I don't know if I would want that. I'm not sure I would want that. So there are, yeah, I'd be curious about auto updating in that regard. Okay. I would be nervous about it. I'm gonna go ahead and change our default grid here color to be the default color of our character. So it doesn't feel weird when we start up and it's a different color over there. So we swap this out. And then we can change the color like that. That's cool. I'm having a lot of fun with this. This is super cool. Okay. We need to add this to our other scripts, our other sections. So one thing that we might consider doing, let's take this, we'll take this color picker button. we need to restructure these. Each of these here, we have an H box, a body grid, a margin container. So we need to add in an H box container like this. You might notice I'm starting to end up in this situation where like, oh man, I'm having to go through and modify a bunch of things over and over to accomplish the same thing. So I have to take this H box, put it in there. Let's switch our tab container to show this arm tab here. So I have this H box container. Now in the H box container, I also want to take this and add it in. And you're like, well, this is like almost the exact same thing between all of these. One thing that's a little bit annoying here though, so in our arms, this is gonna change my body still. So it's not that I want to modify my body. I need my container to know, well, which objects should I be modifying? In this case, it should be modifying my arms here. And so one way we went through doing this, yeah, we got the booger in there. Is it bad to chat GPT when you want to achieve certain behavior with nodes in Godot? I try to Google first, but usually results aren't what I'm looking for. I think part of it is me not Googling the right thing. I think that's a huge part of it, is you don't know what you don't know. Terminology can be a challenging thing. I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing to use ChatGPT. The one thing is you need to use caution when you use ChatGPT. Can I modify the book? Yeah, we got two snots. We got snot 1 and snot 2. We're gonna add in a no snot option as well. You need to be careful when you use ChatGPT because you can run into issues where ChatGPT does what's called hallucinations, where it thinks it knows something. It's confidently wrong very often, and that can cause really, really bad bugs to appear. So I would be careful when using it. I think it's okay to ask it questions, but asking it to write code is probably it's quite dangerous to do. Okay. Exactly. It's very, very confident in its responses. And in fact, it's quite bad. Dark Dev, welcome back. GT, great to see you. Hope you guys are having a beautiful day. Happy Saturday, everybody. As a first resource, because when it's right, it's very fast. I know a lot of people that use it. I personally have found it to be not particularly useful for my use cases. But that said, I've used it before. Right, test yourself, then ask ChatGPT to implement. I've done that and it works okay. Is asking the internet subconscious? It can help you, but I would not recommend get code for you until you can realize how average or wrong it can be. It can be super wrong. Yeah, exactly. We need a way, really. This whole tab container, sorry, this thing that says body, this kind of needs to be a self-contained scene. So I'm running into this issue where I'm having to duplicate a lot of code, duplicate a lot of things. I'm gonna have to I have to add a color picker, I have to add this. These kind of need to be self-contained, but they act relatively different. I think that you can find a lot of use with ChatGPT, absolutely. Thank you, Ducaner. Okay. Yeah, because we want this to have a reference. I think what we want is this to have a reference to the objects here. So we kind of need... I'm trying to think here. What is the way that I want to do this? Previously, we made several new scripts, and you'll notice that we're sort of duplicating code over and over. Not quite. Each one of these is saying which one of those to use. I'm just trying to come up. I know how to do it. I'm trying to come up with a way that I can teach my students to do it that is useful. I have this. All right, I'll show you what I'm trying to do. I have these things, and they have a lot of similarities. These have a lot of similarities. As I'm coming through here, I have my body. We can swap the body out. I can change the color of it. My arms, I've added this in, but it turns out that the arms are connected to the body here. So it's sort of the same thing we were running into before of like, oh, well, this needs to use a script that knows how to talk directly to the arms. We need a way to talk to the arms that is like nice, not code repeating too much. The issue I'm kind of having is that the scripts are attached directly to these buttons, when in fact, it's really this whole container is the thing that needs the script. Generates very good functions when provided with the detailed behavior wanted in the right inputs. So here's what I'll say, Fruit Superman. I taught a class on prompt engineering with ChatGPT and Copilot, in which students were only allowed to use code that was written by ChatGPT. They were not allowed to write any code themselves. They could only use code that was written by an AI using an LM. They could change the prompt any way they wanted. They could modify the prompt, go back, change it. They didn't have to use code it created, but they could only use code that it created. So like if it generated something, they knew it was wrong, they didn't have to use it. If they wanted to fix a bug, they couldn't manually change it. What we discovered when doing this was that it is basically impossible to do anything non-trivial. You have to modify the code so much, you can't just take the code it produces and use it. Yeah, GT, exactly. So the part of this class was to show students, hey, there's this really cool tool that is actually really bad in most situations. You have to be super, super specific. You either using an enum, I was thinking about doing an enum, and it worked fine, but maybe you should. So there's this thing of like, how do we want to be able to extend this thing? How are we going to extend it? The script really needs to live on this object here. So we need to move that. We need to elevate that object up. Right now, these buttons have a script attached to them, but the buttons really need to send a message up to the controller about what their texture was. So we kind of need to do a two thing here. But I think the first thing I want to do is actually make this a scene. So this thing needs to be a new scene. Where's save branch as scene? This is going to be our body part tab, like container. So this contains our body parts. It needs to have a monster controller associated with it. So since this one's interesting, this is an interesting thing here. Body part container. We need to be able to do a couple things here. We need to be able to set the body parts. We need to be able to have this thing, the topmost thing needs to be referencing the body. It needs to know how to change the component that it's connected. So this thing needs a reference to, so I'm going to add a script here on this. And so we're playing around. This is what, body part container script here. This thing needs a reference to a monster controller. So I'm going to do an export var. We're going to do monster controller like this. So this thing will have a monster controller in it. And it is going to have a function called set, it's a monster controller. Do we need this? Hang on. Monster. Really, it doesn't have a monster controller. It has a monster controller because it doesn't know about the internals of the monster controller. It needs to know how to update it. Mocha Beans, welcome to the stream. Thank you so much for the follow. Happy to have you here. Another thing you can do with GPT is set up a base requirement hidden behind every prompt. For example, I told it to stop writing all the code after. Yeah, so you can do stuff like that. ChatGPT has some cool tools you can use to customize the AI. We need a way. I think there's a couple different things we can do to expose. I don't think I have access in my maker scene I can't go in and access the internals of the monster. That's not a bad idea. That's a good idea, actually. If we put this inside of the monster itself. Ooh, that's an idea. That's an idea. If we make... Really, we need to be able to expose the different parts. So keep in mind, I am trying to make this accessible to someone who has never done any programming before. The body parts are a single script for all set texture already even exists. Yeah, so part of this is it needs to be that, well, the body, you'll notice these things here. So I'm trying to simplify it a little bit. My dog's going a little bit crazy. We might have to wrap up here, folks. I might have to take care of my dog. Give me a second here. I'll be right back. All right, everyone, so sorry about that. I do have to get going here. Normally I go for about 3 hours every day, but I got to take my dog. We got to do, everything's fine, but we're going to find someone to raid out to here. And then I'll be back tomorrow. My plan is to be back tomorrow. I actually am planning on hanging out on the Discord in a few hours when I get back. I'm taking my dogs to the dog park. We're gonna give them some time out there. They really need it. The weather is holding out right now. It gets really hot here. So we do have to get out of here. I'm gonna find someone to raid into. I will be back tomorrow. If you want to hang out with us on the Discord, I'm going to be hanging out on the Discord in the voice channels there. I'm going to be continuing to work on this project, see if we can find it. So feel free to join us there. Love to see you guys. Have a beautiful day, everyone. Let's find someone to raid into. Let's see. We got a lot of choices here. Let's go raid Captain Enosa. Let's tell him congratulations on his success. Captain Enosa, an incredible Godot streamer working on Pirate Jam. We're gonna raid out to Captain Enosa, everybody. Thank you guys so much for hanging out. Remember to keep coding, keep growing, keep being the best you can be. You're welcome back anytime. I will be back tomorrow. Have a beautiful day. We'll see you then. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.